So you're having a really good conversation with someone in English until they say something you don't understand. How do you react? Do you react like this? So sorry. Please repeat. Or like this. Could you say that again, please? Now, one of those reactions could make the conversation fail. To stop failing in English conversations when you don't understand something, you need to do these 3 things. Number 1, repair your conversations confidently. Number 2, have the right phrases prepared. And number 3, you need to know some special tricks which will help you in the more difficult situations. And I'll share those towards the end of this video. Firstly, repair conversations confidently. Have a look at these 2 responses again. Which one repairs the conversation? It was, of course, this one. Now, why was this one better? It's because the person spoke confidently. And when you reply confidently, when you don't understand something, what it does to the listener is it makes them think, well, perhaps the problem was with how I said it, not with the person's understanding. If you ask them to repeat themselves nervously, you're telling the listener you didn't really understand what was happening. And that can make you embarrassed, and that can make the speaker lose confidence that you understand them. When you ask someone to repeat themselves confidently, though, you are simply doing what native speakers do all the time. Think about conversations in your own language. There are lots of situations where we don't understand someone when they're speaking in a language we already know. In these situations, we ask people to repeat themselves completely confidently, and the conversation carries on. It doesn't fail. Your conversation succeeds. Secondly, you need to have the right phrases prepared. If you don't have the right phrase prepared, you'll end up saying something like this. Sorry, repeat please. You'll end up just fumbling through any words that you can think of on the spot. And again, it will come out nervously, not confidently. You need to have some good phrases prepared for that moment so you can come out with them straight away. One of the most simple phrases is this. Could you say that again, please? It's simple, but if said confidently, it's perfectly effective. But you can make even more of an impression if you use some phrases that native speakers would use. Phrases like these. Sorry, I didn't catch the last thing you said. Could you run me through that again, please? I'm so sorry, I missed the last bit of that. Phrases like these not only help you sound as if you are a good speaker of English, able to keep a conversation going, but also that you are able to speak in the way that a native speaker would. And again, it increases the confidence in the person speaking to you, helps you feel less embarrassed about the mistake, and it helps the conversation continue as usual. However, there are some situations where you need something else, and these are called my special tricks. My first special trick is this. Repeat what you did understand. Very often, when a conversation goes wrong because of a misunderstanding, it's because you missed only one word. You understood everything else. So here, you don't need to ask the person speaking to repeat everything again. All you need to do is something like in the following example. Let's imagine you're speaking to a friend and they're telling you about their weekend. And they say this: I went on a trip on a catamaran down the River Thames. Now, you understood everything except the word catamaran, which, by the way, is a type of boat. So instead of saying, could you repeat everything? You could simply say this: sorry, you went on a trip down the River Thames on what? So here you repeat everything that you did understand. This is really good because it shows the person speaking that you did understand what they were saying. A real conversation was taking place. You were in the conversation. Secondly, if said confidently, again, it puts the emphasis back on the speaker. Maybe they didn't say the word that you didn't understand properly, and they can explain it more. And if you still don't understand the word, there's only one word which the person needs to explain. Everything else was fine. Number 2, you can blame something else. Let's imagine that you just lost the thread of what the person was saying. But you don't want the person listening to think that you were not in the conversation. So why not do one of these things? You could say this: I'm so sorry, I got distracted for a moment. Could you say that again? Maybe a car was passing in the distance. Maybe your mobile phone went off. Maybe there was some light. Maybe someone was trying to get your attention. Blame something else for the misunderstanding, not your own lack of listening. And this will buy you a free second opportunity to hear what the person said. There are other ways you could do this. You could also say, I'm so sorry, there was some noise while you were speaking. Could you say that again? And it's true, sometimes it's noise interference that makes it harder for us to hear. Or maybe this: I'm so sorry, I was just thinking about something I have to do. Could you say that again? But finally, there are times where you know that you are not going to understand the word no matter how many times they repeat. How do you save embarrassment in those situations? And how do you keep the conversation going? Well, in these situations, try my final trick, and that is change the subject. If it was not absolutely crucial for you to understand everything they were saying, perhaps you were just simply having a conversation where you were sharing ideas simply to make small talk, then you can do this easily. Look at my example. Perhaps your friend this time says, I've been learning gobbledygook recently. And you don't understand what the word gobbledygook means. By the way, the word gobbledygook just simply means nonsense, so you didn't need to know it anyway. So you don't really need to know what this word is, but you need to keep the conversation going. You don't want the conversation to fail. Perhaps you could do this. That's interesting. I've been learning Thai. Do you see what happens here? You've kept the conversation going. You've given the impression that you understood enough of what the speaker was saying, and the speaker never knows anything. The conversation carries on. There's no failure. You've not missed any important information. It's another special trick you can use to stop failing at English conversations simply because you didn't understand. So remember, be confident, have phrases prepared, and have some special tricks ready when it all goes wrong. Watch my other videos by clicking on the boxes below.